parents, to myself. How can I just abandon my entire life? Cassian said gently. You don't have to decide now. Your friend is here. You both have time to talk, to think. He hesitated. But, Blair, whatever you decide, we will respect it. And before she could answer, he left, leaving her alone with her jumbled thoughts and a heart that pulled in two opposite directions. The next 3 days were a chaotic blend of comedy, drama, and escalating tension. Jessica, to her credit, truly tried to convince Blair to return, but her attempts were questionable. Okay, point number 47, Jessica announced on the morning of the second day as Blair taught a group of children how to make origami out of leaves. Starbucks. You love Starbucks. Caramel macchiato, extra caramel. You can't live without it. I can learn to live without it, Blair replied, folding a leaf into a crane shape. Heresy! Jessica dramatically placed her hand over her chest. The Blair I know would die without caffeine. The Blair you know would also die of existential boredom, but here I am, teaching origami to werewolf children. People change, Jess. Myril held up her leaf bird triumphantly. Look, I made one. Beautiful, Blair smiled. That's witchcraft, a little boy mumbled. You turned leaves into birds. Witchcraft. Technically, it's Japanese art, but Blair, focus. Tristan, who had become Jessica's unofficial tour guide, appeared carrying 2 steaming mugs. Herbal tea, not Starbucks, but Dahlia said it's good. Jessica took the mug, sniffed it, and grimaced. It smells like grass. Because it has grass in it. I knew it! Despite the complaints, Blair noticed Jessica drank the tea anyway, and more importantly, she noticed the way Jessica's eyes followed Tristan when he walked away. On the afternoon of the 3rd day, something changed. Blair was in the communal kitchen with Dahlia, making more pancakes, which had become a constant demand, when Maeve entered. She had been strangely absent since Jessica's arrival. We need to talk, she said without preamble. All of us. Blair exchanged a look with Dahlia. About what? About the fact that Darius is moving, and fast. They gathered in Cassian's cabin. Blair, Jessica, Cassian, Tristan, Maze, and Dahlia. The tension in the air was palpable. My patrols reported movement to the south. The Shadow Bloods are gathering. Not just them, other packs too. They're forming some kind of alliance. Why? Tristan asked, though his expression suggested he already knew the answer. Because of her, Maeve pointed at Blair. Word about the Guardian has spread. Every pack in these lands knows now that there's someone with that power, and they want it for themselves. Jessica raised her hand. Excuse me, Guardian? As in, guardian of what? It's an ancient lineage, beings who could mediate between different magical species, calm conflicts, even heal injuries that normal magic couldn't. We thought they were extinct. Until Blair showed up, glowing and making giant golems turn into puppies. That did not happen, Blair mumbled. Totally happened, Cassian said, and there was the ghost of a smile on his lips. Jessica looked between them all. Okay, so let me get this straight. Blair has magical superpowers that make her super valuable, and now entire packs of murderous werewolves want to get their hands on her? Basically, Maeve confirmed. Great. Perfect. All the more reason to leave. She pulled the necklace from her pocket, dangling it. We have the magic stone. We can get out. Now. Jessica, Blair began. No, Blair, this has gotten too dangerous. I get that you like it here, I really do, but your life is at risk. My life was at risk the second I got here. That hasn't changed anything. It's changed everything. She's right, Cassian said softly, looking at Blair. You should go, while you still can, before Darius makes his move. Blair felt as if she'd been punched in the gut. You want me to go? I want you to be safe. There was pain in his eyes. And you're not safe here. Not anymore. Blair stood up, frustration overflowing. You said you'd protect me. And I will. But, Blair, he ran a hand over his face. It won't be enough. Not against united packs. Not when everyone wants what you are. So what? Blair's voice broke. I just run away? Go back to my boring life and pretend none of this happened? You survive, Cassian said firmly. That's what matters. I care, Blair yelled, and the air around her began to glow again, that golden light pulsing. I care about this place, about these people, about you, and you're just sending me away? The glow intensified, making everyone take a step back, except Cassian. He took a step forward and gripped Blair's shoulders. "Hey," he said softly. "Breathe." Blair took a breath, focusing on his hands, on his eyes. Slowly, the light subsided. "It's getting stronger," Dahlia observed. "Her power. The longer she stays, the more emotional she gets, the stronger it becomes. Which means more people will feel it," Maeve added grimly. "It's like a beacon, calling everyone who wants to use that power." Jessica held Blair's arm. "Please, let's go home, please." Blair looked at her best friend with tears streaming down her face. Then she looked at Cassian, who was clearly holding himself back from begging her to stay. And then she looked at Dahlia, whose old, wise eyes were thoughtful. "Is there another way?" Blair asked the older woman. "Some way for me to stay without putting everyone in danger?" Dahlia was quiet for a long moment. "Perhaps." Everyone turned to her. The Veil Stone is not just a tool for time travel. According to the ancient texts, it can create bridges, links between different times. If Blair could learn to control it, to control her own power, she could travel between both times. Tristan finished, his eyes widening. Go back and forth whenever she wanted. But that requires immense control and training, the kind of training that takes weeks, perhaps months. Time we don't have, Maeve said grimly. Darius will attack within days. Then we need to buy time, Cassian said, his voice taking on that alpha commanding tone. Make Darius think she's gone. How? Jessica asked. A slow smile spread across Tristan's face. With a ruse, a very good one. The plan was risky, possibly insane, but it was all they had. Jessica would publicly take Blair back, using the Veil Stone in a ceremony that the entire pack would witness. They would make it seem as though Blair had left, that she was back in her own time and out of reach. But in truth, Blair would hide, in the deep caves beneath the pack's territory, where the magical signal of the stone was blocked by ancient rock. And there, Dahlia would train her, teach her to control her power, to understand the stone, and to create the bridge between times. How long will it take? Blair asked. At least a month, Dahlia said. Perhaps longer. A month here, Jessica said slowly. But in our time flows differently between eras. Days here could be just days there, or weeks. Jessica looked at Blair. You're actually doing this, risking everything to learn werewolf magic so you can... What? I don't... Blair began, but stopped when she saw Jessica's expression. Her friend was trying to joke, but there was real fear in her eyes. Jess, come with me. Stay with me while I train. I can't stay. My parents will... Days in our time, remember? You can stay. You can support me, and... Blair looked at Tristan, who was clearly trying not to look too hopeful. Maybe find out if werewolves are really that bad after all. Jessica followed her gaze, saw Tristan, and blushed. I don't... Jessica, Tristan stepped forward. Stay, please. I promise to make it worth your while. That sounds vague and potentially inappropriate. I have jokes, so many jokes, and stories, and I can show you the parts of the forest that glow at night. Parts that glow? Jessica hesitated. Magical flowers, absolutely beautiful. Jessica looked at Blair, then at Tristan, then back at Blair. I'm actually considering this. I've gone crazy. Welcome to the club, Blair smiled. Okay, Jessica took a deep breath. Okay, I'll stay. But if I get eaten by a magical creature, I'm going to haunt you. Fair enough. Cassian cleared his throat. Then it's decided. We prepare the ruse for tomorrow at dawn. That gives us tonight to prepare. He looked at Blair, and there was something intense in his gaze. May I speak with you? Blair nodded, following him out of the cabin. They walked in silence to the edge of the camp, where the forest began and the stars were visible through the tree canopy. A month, Cassian finally said. Or more, Blair added softly. In the caves, no proper sunlight, no open space. He turned to her. You hate small spaces. How do you know that? I pay attention. He touched her face. You always stay near doors, always choose outside when given an option, and you always breathe a little deeper when you're in open spaces. Blair felt her heart clench. You really do pay attention. To you, always. He hesitated. Blair, you don't have to do this. You can go back, live your life, be safe. But I wouldn't be happy. Cassian looked at her for a long moment. Then, slowly, he smiled. You are the most stubborn person I have ever met. Thank you. And the bravest. Is that a compliment too? The greatest I can give. He pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers. When you return, when you can control your power and can travel between times, yes, I want to be there when you decide where you want to stay, permanently. Blair swallowed hard. What if I choose both, part of the time here, part there? Then I will count every second you are here and hate every second you are not, he smiled sadly. But I will accept it, because having you in any way is better than not having you at all. Cassian, he kissed her. It was soft and desperate at the same time, as if he were trying to memorize every detail, every sensation. When they parted, both were breathless. Train hard, he murmured, learn fast, and come back to me. I promise. And as they stood there under the stars, Blair knew that no matter how long it took, no matter how difficult the road ahead, she would find a way to have both worlds. Because for the first time in her life, she had something worth fighting for. Dawn came too quickly. The entire camp gathered in the central clearing, the air heavy with anticipation and something that looked suspiciously like sadness. Blair wore her original clothes, the jeans and top that now felt strange after days of wearing the dress, to make the ruse more convincing. Jessica was by her side. Are you ready? Jessica whispered. No, Blair admitted, but we're doing it anyway. Cassian stepped forward, his expression carefully neutral, but Blair could see the tension in his shoulders, in the way his eyes kept coming back to her. Members of the pack, his voice echoed through the clearing. Today we bid farewell to Blair. She will return to her time, to her home. It is safest for her. There were murmurs throughout the camp. Some people seemed relieved, a troublesome human leaving meant fewer complications, but more people seemed genuinely sad. Muriel broke from the crowd, running up to Blair and clutching her in a tight hug. You can't go. You haven't taught me more things from the future yet. Blair knelt, holding the girl's shoulders. You've taught you enough. And you... She had to choose her words carefully, aware that people from other packs might be watching from afar. You'll always have the memories, right? Muriel sniffled but nodded. I'll make pancakes and think of you. Perfect. Other people came closer. Delia hugged her tightly, whispering, "Be strong," in her ear. Tristan gave her a pat on the back and a sad smile. And then it was Cassian's turn. He stood in front of her, and for a moment, neither of them spoke. There was too much to say, but they couldn't say it here, not now, not with everyone watching. Thank you, Blair finally said, keeping her voice formal, for your protection, for everything. It was an honor, Cassian said, and his words were correct, appropriate, but his eyes wanted to say something else. Blair swallowed her tears. Take care, Alpha. And you, Traveler? Blair cleared her throat. Okay, let's do this before I start crying. Blair took Jessica's hand, and together they held the stone, which began to glow in response to their touch. Think of the place you wish to go, Dahlia instructed, loud enough for everyone to hear. The glow intensified. Blair was actually doing it, activating the stone's power enough to create an impressive light show. The air around them began to ripple like heat rising from asphalt. It's working, someone whispered. The light became blinding, and then explosion. Not literal, but a wave of energy that made everyone close their eyes. When they opened them again, Blair and Jessica had vanished. In the deep caves beneath the pack's territory, Blair and Jessica appeared in a chamber lit by glowing crystals.